Hey, what's going on, guys? Slayer back here again with another video. I know that it's been a while, guys. It's been like 9 days since my last upload, which I beat myself up about. That's absolutely ridiculous. And I always say, man, that it's because I'm busy, but I mean that's the truth. I really am busy with working 5 nights a week and then going to intensive outpatient rehab 3 days a week, going to family counseling 1 day a week, and then Bible study and everything else on top of it. Doing YouTube, trying to keep up with all the comments. It does make for a super busy schedule. And then on top of it, my mom's dog, which is kind of like a family dog, uh, just she's the sweetest dog ever, has been having some health issues. She actually has pancreatitis, which is kind of strange and bizarre. The vet thinks that it was probably due to like an onion ring, which is just crazy. Um, so she's actually in the emergency vet right now, and I was with my mom most of the day after I got out of my IOP group. I was with her most of the day and just helped her out, taking her to the emergency vet. This is the second time now that she's back in the emergency vet. It just hasn't been good, man. If you guys could send a prayer out to Chancey, that would be much appreciated because it's just been a nightmare, man. Pancreatitis is no joke, whether you're a human being or an animal. It's nothing that you want. It's nothing that you want to, deal with. It's dangerous stuff. So that's been stressful, man. But yeah, guys, I have 41 days of sobriety now, and I'm saying 41 because it's like 1:30 in the morning as I'm filming this. I have to be up by like 8 o'clock in the morning to be back at my IOP group. Man, I'm on my grind, dude, but it's working. It's keeping me sober. So I guess at the end of the day, man, right on, bro. It's working, so that's all that matters. Shout out to every single one of you guys. You guys have been amazing. All the subscribers, all the new subscribers, the old subscribers. You guys are incredible. So shout out to you guys. And I do plan on doing a video with liver disease, LD, the liver disease channel, if you guys didn't know. We had a conversation just a couple days ago on the phone, and we talked about, we just had an amazing conversation, man, and we plan to do a video this week. So be on the lookout for that, guys. But yeah, I actually wanted to talk about the nightmare of alcohol withdrawal. And, that was one of my first videos on this channel. I talked about alcohol withdrawal, and I got kind of in depth. I got sort of in depth, not really, with my alcohol withdrawal experience. And I need to make like a hour-long, fully in-depth breakdown on my alcohol withdrawal experience because it's just insane. And I also want to say this, if you're experiencing any symptoms of severe alcohol withdrawal or even moderate alcohol withdrawal, please go to the hospital. Please go to a detox facility, speak to your doctor. Please do that because it can be fatal. You can die from alcohol withdrawal. It's no joke. I often say this. Growing up, I always thought that heroin withdrawal was the worst withdrawal out there. I always grew up thinking that because you see that on the TV shows and you see that on the movies and on Lost. Charlie's a heroin addict and it just looks so miserable. So you kind of grow up with that picture in your head while alcohol is all around us glorified and normalized. So nobody really thinks about alcohol being the worst withdrawal on planet Earth. But it is. It really is the worst withdrawal. And it's one of the only ones, benzodiazepines being the only other one, I think, that can actually kill you from it. So it's no joke. So please, if you're going through severe withdrawal symptoms, get to a hospital. But I just wanted to talk about some of the symptoms tonight that I experienced, mostly symptoms that I experienced and some that I didn't experience. It's just, it really is just a complete and utter nightmare. I have a list here of some different ones. And there's kind of a timeline here. I printed this out. I thought that I could go over these and then kind of tell you guys some of the ones that I think that they're missing and then some of my own experiences from just the ones that are listed on here. The first thing that it says is sleep disturbances and insomnia. That's a 100% a fact. That's Excuse me, getting my Sin nicotine pouch out of my mouth. Man, I'm doing those all the time. I need to stop. But yeah, sleep disturbances and insomnia it's 100% true, man. You might as well just forget about sleeping. You're on the go 24/7. Alcohol withdrawal is like being stuck in a broken elevator and there's just no way out. You're just stuck, man, and you can't get out of it. Once you're in it, you're strapped in it, and there's nothing you can do to get out of it, man. I did so many different things to try and like help my alcohol withdrawal, and I mean, you're in it until it's over. And that's again why I suggest, if you are going through severe alcohol withdrawal, please go and see a doctor, go to the hospital. But anyways, let's focus on sleep disturbances. Yeah, man. I stayed up sometimes for like 3 to 4 nights straight. Straight, not 1 hour of sleep, not just no sleep whatsoever, not a power nap of nothing. And people that haven't stayed up for that long, I mean, you just don't truly understand where your mind is at by like the time, by your third day awake. You're in a different realm. I don't know how to describe it. And then you add, the sleep deprivation alone is enough to just put you in a horrible mental state and physical state. And then on top of it, you're going through alcohol withdrawal, man. And it was a nightmare. I was constantly afraid of having a seizure just because of how my brain felt. I was constantly afraid of seizing out or something. I would often get body twitches where my body would start twitching. And I don't think that that's on here, but I would get like muscle spasms. And sometimes my legs would shoot out from underneath me, and they would like, I would get convulsions and stuff. I mean, I think got close to having a seizure a couple of times, guys. And that's just that can be deadly. It's no joke. But luckily I've never had a seizure. Thank God I never have. And hopefully I never do. But I would get that, and I would pace my room for hours. And every single time that I would lay down to try and sleep, it was just the second that I would close my eyes, I would start seeing a whole bunch of shit. I mean, that's when you're going in delirium tremens and stuff, and you're starting to hallucinate. And sometimes the only thing that would help that is me just dropping down and trying to pray. But really, the only thing that would help is just pacing, and that really wouldn't even help either. You're just stuck in this nightmare, man. But yeah, insomnia is 100% real. You'll be begging to be able to fall asleep by the third and fourth night that you're laying there awake or pacing. I mean, you're absolutely exhausted, but no matter what, you just cannot sleep. The next thing on here is anxiety. Yeah, the anxiety is gut-wrenching. It's horrid. There's a constant feeling, and you're in a constant state, and you have this constant feeling of impending doom, like something horrible is going to happen. Something horrible is gonna happen, whether that's physical, like you're gonna have a heart attack or a seizure or something, or the cops are gonna show up randomly and just arrest you. I mean, you're just out of your mind with anxiety. The anxiety is absolutely horrible. I'd be sitting there often just, rubbing on my body and stuff. I mean, looking like a complete and utter junkie. I'd be like playing with my hair and stuff, just fidgeting with my, anything to try and take my mind off of the horrid anxiety that would come with it. I'd often take ice cubes and like put them in between my cheeks, or get into a super cold shower or super warm shower and sit there. Sometimes that would be helpful. Anything to try and get out of that horrible anxiety, man. And that's 100% going to come with alcohol withdrawal, is the anxiety. On the next thing on here, and it doesn't say on here depression, but depression comes with it as well. The first couple days after a heavy binge, I've noticed with myself, I'm not only going through horrible withdrawal, but I'm also just at an all-time low of depression. I mean, the guilt, the shame, all of it. I mean, it's bad, man. It's not good. And that's just not on this list. And that's definitely something that I've experienced. The next thing that I see is shaking. Of course, that's the common one. That's the one that you see in all the movies. That's the one that everybody knows about. when it comes to alcohol withdrawal, and that's 100% a fact. You do shake. I would shake like just horrible shaking. Uh, I remember there was some times where back when I was with my ex-girlfriend, and you know, when I was at some of the worst of my drinking and I was trying to get sober, because there was a few times that I was really trying to get sober to try and, save our relationship and save myself. And of course it would never work. And I remember one time I was trying to wean myself off, and I was trying to taper myself off, and that never worked, at least for me. It seems like for any real alcoholic out there, tapering off just never works. There are some people that it does work for, and if that's your only option is to taper, I would suggest to do it because it's safer than just going cold turkey. But tapering off never worked for me, man. I would say that I was going to taper off. Next thing you know, I'm back at the store buying 2 bottles. It just never worked for me. But I remember one time I was trying to taper off, trying to do some controlled drinking, and I had a shot in my hand, and it was in a shot glass because I was pouring the bottle into this shot glass, and I was giving it to my ex to keep away from me because I just didn't trust myself not to drink all of it. And I remember I had the shot glass, and I was shaking so bad, man. I was like this. I was shaking so bad, literally like this. And when I was trying to drink it, it was going all over the place. It was spilling everywhere, and I couldn't even drink it. I ended up having to give it to my ex-girlfriend, and she had to hold it up for me and give it to me because I couldn't even drink my own shot, man. That's how bad I was fucking shaking. It's insane, man. It's just insane. The damage that we do. The damage that we do is just crazy. It was embarrassing. I would go to the bank often to like sign for a check or something, and my hand would be shaking, and the bank teller would just be kind of like looking. And I think a lot of the times people knew, because again, that's just that common one. It's very common for people to know about the shakes. The next thing on here is headaches. Yeah, that's true. You're going to get headaches. Agitation. Yeah, that comes with it. Of course, just your emotions are all over the place. You're in a hyper state of mind all the way around. I think some of that comes from also like the people around you. If you do have any people around you, I think some of that comes from your family and loved ones not truly understanding what you're going through. I've said it before, man, unless you've been through severe alcohol withdrawal, you really don't know how bad it is. And your family members and your loved ones, they shouldn't be expected to know how bad it is unless they're alcoholics. But oftentimes they can make it very dangerous for you if you listen to their advice. I know oftentimes when I should have been in the hospital, I would end up white knuckling it because way back in the day, my dad or my brother or one of my friends would say, "Oh no, man, you're good. I'm sure you're fine. Don't worry about it." No, listen to your body. Listen to how you feel. And I'd get agitated a lot of the times because I would feel like people weren't taking me seriously enough. And again, that's understandable because if you're not an alcoholic, it's hard for someone to understand just how fucking terrible alcohol withdrawal is. So yeah, man. The next one is disorientation. 100%, man. I would be totally dizzy sometimes. I would get up and have vertigo. There were times where I'd be walking, I would literally fall over to the side. Just horrible, man. And keep in mind, you're having all of these symptoms at the same time usually. And it doesn't even say on here either the throwing up and the shits, the diarrhea that you're gonna have, man. Yeah, explosive diarrhea. Yeah, that's guaranteed. You're gonna be blowing the toilet to shreds. The toilet's gonna be begging for mercy by the time that you get through this week or 2 weeks of dread. And on top of it, you're just throwing up constantly. If it's bad enough, you won't even be able to get out of bed. You'll just be leaning over, puking. Hopefully you have a bucket or something next to you. That's how bad it is. And again, you're having all of these symptoms at the same time. And it says right here, sweating. Yes, sweating profusely sweating. My shirt would be sometimes absolutely soaked, just soaked. I'm laying there in bed. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm sweating profusely. My eyes are this big. I can't sleep, man. I'm seeing shadow people out of the corners of my eyes. I'm hearing voices. It's nothing that you want to go through ever. It's not good, man. It's really not good. And with that, hallucinations. If you get deep enough into your drinking, you will. I mean, not everybody experiences hallucinations, alcohol hallucinosis, delirium tremens. Not everybody experiences that, but a lot of people do. And if you get deep enough into your drinking, like I did and a lot of other people have, you will experience that. And once you step over that line, you step into that portal of the delirium tremens demonic world. It's like a reoccurring nightmare that every single time that you binge, if you go long enough, I know for myself, and I've heard others speak on this as well, you're going to get delirium tremens almost every single time. You're going to get hallucinations, slight hallucinations, even for maybe just a week of drinking. That's how insane it is. I don't know. Once you start experiencing severe withdrawal, man, you never really go back. Drinking is never, ever normal ever again. It's like you might as well just say goodbye to drinking because you're never going to be able to drink normal ever again. That's just how it is, man. That's just how it is. But the hallucinations, just absolutely horrifying. I've kind of shared a lot of the stuff that I've seen myself on here, which of course the shadow people. I would hear demonic whispers. I've said before, man, I do think personally, this is just a personal opinion. Not everybody thinks that alcohol is demonic. Some people hear that and they're like, man, this dude is insane. And that's completely understandable. I understand that. That's just an opinion of mine from like research and just personal experience. But everything in my hallucinations would always be demonic. I would hear demonic whispers. I would see demonic things. I would see shadow people. I saw a demon in the detox room. The close-eyed visuals were horrifying. I don't think I've ever spoke on this, but there was this one hallucination, this close-eyed hallucination that I would get that I can still see this kid to this day. When I would close my eyes, I could just see this mutilated, I guess is the best way to put it, dead child, boy. I don't know how old he was, maybe like 12 or 13 years old, and I can still see him to this day, slightly in my head. And he was one of the people that I saw in one of my hallucinations, and every single time that I would close my eyes, I would see this kid, and then sometimes I would see this kid getting his jaw ripped open, and it was absolutely horrifying, absolutely and utterly horrifying. On top of that, I would often see like carnivals of just grotesque, just horrifying acts going on. I would see demons running wild. The nightmares would be lucid nightmares. It would be a lucid dream nightmare every single time. If you did get any sleep, if I got any sleep, I would go into an instant like lucid dream nightmare where you would literally dream of demons, hell, and it was just horrifying, man. Just absolutely horrible. Look up delirium tremens on Reddit and read some people's experiences. Listen to Delirium Dirk's experiences. Rest in peace to Delirium Dirk. Listen to his experiences, man. It's no joke. I really do think that there's like you open up a portal or something to hell, man, and you just see all this crazy shit. You experience it, you feel it, the paranoia, the absolute and utter feeling of terror that comes with it it's all real. And when you're going through that experience, nobody can convince you otherwise. It's scary stuff, man. It really is. It's really scary stuff. I remember one time I was walking around the block to try and get some fresh air, and I had this hallucination where I saw, I mean, what I believed to see was a severed dog's head underneath a car. It was absolutely horrifying. I saw blood. I saw the severed head, and it looked like a severed dog's head, like a severed husky's head maybe, or some kind of big head underneath this car. And when I got closer to it, I mean, it scared me so much, I ended up running around the block, and I went back to my place, and I like ran in. I was just terrified. I had, I was fucking scared. And I went and ran into my room, kind of hid away for a while. And I remember later that night, it was bothering me so much. I was like obsessed with this thought. It was just bothering me so much that I was like, man, I've got to go and figure out, was that really a dog's severed head down there, or was I just seeing shit? Like, what was going on, man? I couldn't tell. And so I remember I went down there and I went around the block and I saw it. And again, it looked like a severed head laying underneath this car. And I got closer and I got closer, and I ended up looking underneath it. Fuck, man, it was a plastic bag laying underneath this car. And the sigh of relief that I did, man. But I thought that it was a severed dog's head, man. That's how out of your mind you are. That's what I'm saying. You're completely and utterly out of your mind. And again, I'll say this: you're experiencing all of these symptoms together, and not to mention your blood pressure being at an all-time high. I mean, at dangerous levels. Your heart rate being at an all-time high, which probably has something to do with why I'm having like heart rate stuff go on, is probably because of all my excessive drinking, I'm sure, over the years, and the stress and that I've put on my body. Because yeah, your heart rate will be going. You're in risk of literally having heart failure, heart attack, stroke. You're in risk of all these things happening, just because your body cannot handle the stress that it's under from coming off of alcohol, man. Alcohol is, I've said it before, man, it's like one of the hardest, it is one of the hardest drugs on earth, if not the hardest drug on earth. A meth addict once told me that he feels bad for the alcoholic because he said that he doesn't think that he would be able to quit his substance if he could just walk down the street and pick it up at a gas station, or pick it up at your grocery store, anywhere. You can go to a restaurant. You can literally go anywhere. He said that he has pity for us, but yet it's one of the hardest drugs on earth, and I could go right now if I wanted to. Nobody's stopping me. Nobody's stopping me. If I wanted to right now, I could get in my car and drive down. Well, no, I couldn't. I mean, the liquor stores, but at 6 or 7 in the morning, I could get into my car and drive down to the liquor store and buy 20 bottles and drink them and get behind the wheel and, kill a family or do some crazy shit, kill myself. I mean, it's just, these are the possibilities with this insane substance of alcohol. So I warn anybody who is, drinking heavily, and maybe you haven't experienced withdrawal symptoms yet. Maybe you just haven't gotten there and you're drinking yet. Let me tell you this, man, they're coming. They will happen. You continue your drinking, you continue to drink heavily, or even if you don't drink heavily, if you drink for a long amount of time, they're going to happen to you, man. And there's something that you do not want to go through. So maybe you should take a step back and look at your drinking, or look into a medical detox. Go to the hospital. If you can't afford the hospital, look up like a state-run detox. Those, you can get in there and they're basically like free. You don't need insurance to get into those. Do whatever you got to do. Go speak to a doctor, walk into a walk-in clinic, whatever it takes, man, because again, alcohol withdrawal is deadly. It's a horrifying experience. It's a nightmare, physically, mentally, and spiritually. It's an absolute battle, man. You're going through real war. When you're going through alcohol withdrawal, man, it's a war. And it's like I said, man, you're in it until you're out of it. Another thing that I forgot to mention is your appetite is basically non-existent. You won't have any appetite. All food is just disgusting. I would try and eat like an apple. I would try and eat fruit and stuff. Sometimes I could hold that down. Anything with some nutrients, man. If you are going to white knuckle it, which again, I do not suggest to do so, get, vitamin B12, fruits, vegetables, get plenty of healthy foods. Try to sleep if you can. Take melatonin. There's some different ways to do it at home if you're going to risk that and white knuckle it. But I would suggest not to white knuckle it because it's just very dangerous, man. And yeah, man, and just remember that there's a life outside of alcohol. If you relapse, it's not the end of the world. One of my brothers in the comments, I'm not going to say your name just because I don't know if you want me to say your name, but you know who you are, man. He relapsed after 50 days of sobriety. And I just told him, man, it's all good. That does not change anything about those 50 days. That was 50 days, man, away from that bottle. Most people that aren't even alcoholics can't even go a week, 2 weeks without drinking, man. That's an extreme accomplishment, bro. Shout out to you, man. Don't beat yourself up. Just hop back on the wagon and try again. It's like LD said, man, and has said in the past, you're only a failure if you stop trying. And that's true, man. You just keep trying. I've documented 2 relapses or 2 or 3 relapses on this channel, man. And it's part of the journey. It's going to happen. As long as you're moving forward, as long as you're trying, as long as you don't give up, you're not a failure. You're not a loser, man. It's all good. There's a better life for us. And, other than some health scares, my life has been a lot better. I've been going through the emotional stuff of stopping, the drinking and some of that stuff and all that craziness and some of the physical stuff. But really, my life has been so much more peaceful. My relationships with my family have already started to improve. My financial situation is already better, man. It's just all the way around better. My IOP group has been such a massive part of that, and so have you guys. I love you guys. If you're still watching the video at this point, I appreciate you. This is a long video. But so many things, man. I want to make an entire video on my IOP and tell you guys what we do in there, break it down for you guys. I think that could be really helpful. But yeah, man, I think I'm going to go. This video is long enough. I'm just kind of ranting at this point. But yeah, alcohol withdrawal is deadly, man. And it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Go get yourself some help. You are worth it. It's like this sign right here says, dream big dreams. And that's what we need to do as alcoholics and addicts and human beings in general. Pray if you need to, man. Wake up and tell yourself, I'm not going to drink today. And then right after that, tell yourself 3 things, pray to God and say 3 things that you're grateful for. Or if you're not a religious person and you don't want to pray, just say 3 things that you're grateful for to yourself, man. It really does help. That's something that we do at the end of every single one of my IOP groups. And man, it just helps remind you that there is plenty of stuff in your life to be grateful for. And as long as you're here right now watching this video, you have a purpose and your purpose is not finished yet. So get to it, man. Catch up to my sobriety. Catch up to me, bruh. Come on, bruh. 41 days. You can come on, bruh. Catch up to me. If you, why are you way back there at 12 days, man? You better catch up. Come on, bruh. And I got that from Theo Vaughn, man. I loved when Theo Vaughn said that. To catch up to him, catch up to his sobriety. I love that. It's kind of like a game. But yeah, man, I love you guys. I'm glad that I just wanted to hop in here. It's been too long. I'm glad that I got to sit down here and make a video. I better get my ass to bed because I have to be up bright and early in the morning. And yeah, man, until next time, guys, I love you guys. Stay safe, stay sober, please. Don't drink. Please, if you are drinking, get yourself some help. I love this community. I love you guys. And yeah, man, I'll be back real soon with another video. Prayers for Chancey. And yeah, man, I love you guys. Stay safe, stay sober. Peace.